have a reading from Poetry of Presence. Mindfulness poems invite us to bring our whole self to whatever moment we're in and truly live it. They encourage us to be more present, more attentive, and compassionate in the living of our days. They grant us a taste of being good enough, just as we are, in this world, just as it is. Love is the spirit of all souls. In this moment of our shared journey, may you feel witnessed and honored wherever you are on your journey. Let's welcome each other, especially new or returning members or people, with our names and our pronouns.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to all who are with us in the moment and to those who are catching us later on. My name is Fran Quigley. My pronouns are he, him. Today we are graced with members of the Poetry of Presence small group who will be leading service today, including Lana Anderson, Nancy Bainey, Crystal Francis, Verlan Major, and Cheryl Olson. They are part of the worship team today, together with Nancy Olson, our Director of Congregational Life and Faith Formation, and Liz Elsmore, our Music Director. Of course, people of all ages are joyfully welcomed in service, but nursery care is available if that option works best for your family. We invite everyone to please complete a connection card. This card is a great way to let us know if you would like support, or if you need assistance, if you have new contact information, or if you just have an interest, comment, or question you want to share, please place the card in the offering basket. Two announcements this morning. First, please join us after the service to say thank you to Amanda Giorgiani for her service as our nursery coordinator and faith formation assistant for the past 5 years. And then next Sunday, All Souls will hold our semi-annual congregational meeting. It's going to be at 11:45 a.m. It's going to be in person. And at the congregational meeting, we'll hear reports from the capital campaign team, the treasurer, our executive committee, and the audit team. This will be an in-person meeting only, so please attend if at all possible so that we can ensure we have a quorum. In order to entice a quorum, there will be a taco bar catered after the meeting in a shameless effort to create democracy, right? As we begin our time together, we acknowledge the land itself and those who have sustained it throughout the generations. We are upon the unceded land of Lenape, Miamia, Kaskaskia, Shawnee, and Kickapoo people who were pushed from their land and whose children have been stolen for generations. As we strive to be a community of justice, may we continue to find ways to make reparations.
Each week, our poetry group began with a mindfulness exercise. I invite you this morning to quiet yourself and join us in one of these exercises. Meditation Practice by Thich Nhat Hanh. Breathe in, breathe out. I have arrived. The practice of mindfulness is the practice of arriving at every moment. The present moment is where life can be found. If I don't arrive in the present moment, I miss my appointment with life. It is very important to arrive at every moment. Your breath helps you to be aware that you have arrived. You don't have to run anymore. We have run all our lives. So it's time to arrive. This is a very deep practice, the practice of arriving. Breathe in, breathe out. I have arrived.
Thank you, Verlan. Lana Anderson will be lighting our chalice. This ritual of lighting our chalice reminds us to continually renew our promise to live into our covenant, to put love into action, and to live out this community of love and justice that we surely aim to be. So if you would please rise in body or spirit as we share the words that are printed in your order of service. They are in both Spanish and English. If you're with us online, please let us know where you're lighting your chalice from. And we'll speak the covenant in Spanish first. El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia, y el servicio es su ley. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor, y ayudarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. Thank you. Thank you, Lana. So it's Poem Sunday, and some of you may have heard of like found poems. You know, usually a found poem is a piece that you find somewhere and you make it into a poem. This is kind of a mishmash found poem because it's found by the different things that people have sent in and told us about Amanda. And it's also kind of a fun poem with some little rhyming because, of course, in children's poems we like to have that rhyming, which, of course, is Amanda, who is with our children. So, Amanda, we have this poem we want to share with you as you wrap up over 5 years of consistently being in that nursery every Sunday, with or without children, but showing up to be there and be them. So we'd like to share some words about you, Amanda. Amanda is patient. Amanda is kind. She has the coolest t-shirts that you will ever find. Always greeting others with a smile or a hug, often sitting calm like Buddha on that nursery rug. The nursery is her happy place, reading books to little ones, listening to their stories, soothing tiny tears. Always a champion for both adults and kids. She knows just how to keep the pace, and everyone feels loved and safe. Every child under the sun knows that Amanda is fun. Amanda is willing to help in ways big or small, from owl training to teaching to fests spring and fall. Her presence in the nursery will surely be missed. But before you depart, Amanda, know we each carry your love in our heart. So, thank you, Amanda, for helping the kids out and for all your hard work and love. And we know that you're looking for some other ways to be engaged here at All Souls, and we know it's not the end, that we'll see you again. But do you have your name tag? So Amanda's always had her nursery coordinator name tag. She's giving it up today. She's giving up that name tag. Will not be on our staff. Oh, no. But she's going to be a friend and going to be here in so other ways. Yeah.
Please join us in taking a few moments to note that which is currently bringing joy or sorrow to our community. Our member, Rosemary Robertson, passed away October 30th here in Indianapolis. A celebration of life for Rosemary will be held November 22nd at Woodruff Place Town Hall. Let us hold a moment of silence together for the joys and sorrows in our heart that are yet unnamed. Please rest in the space with us as we offer this poetic meditation from our UU ancestor, Shel Silverstein. The title is Forgotten Language, and we'll read it twice. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. Once I understood each word the caterpillar said. Once I smiled in secret at the gossip of the starlings, and I shared a conversation with the housefly in my bed. Once I heard and answered all the questions of the crickets, and I joined the crying of each falling, dying flake of snow. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. How did it go? How did it go? And again, once I spoke the language of the flowers, once I understood each word the caterpillar said, once I smiled in secret at the gossip of the starlings, and I shared a conversation with the housefly in my bed. Once I heard and I answered all the questions of the crickets, and I joined the crying of each falling, dying flake of snow. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. How did it go? How did it go? Now we're going to sing in your teal book, hymnal 1047, Nada de Torbe. Hymn 1047 in the teal hymnal.
During October, a small group of us met to weekly review poems found in the Poetry of Presence, which was edited by Phyllis Cole-Dai and Ruby R. Wilson. Nancy Olson brought this collection of poems about mindfulness to our attention. To appreciate the poems, each member would pick one poem to read for each meeting. We found that reading each poem once, pausing briefly, and then reading it again helped to really hear what the poem had to say. After reading the poem, the person explained why they had chosen it and what it meant to them. Other group members would then react to it. Today, we want to share the experience with you. Save your reactions for coffee hour when you can leave comments on the bulletin board. We have the poems posted on the bulletin board just across the way. So relax and be present to the poetry. And to help you reach that spot, Verlan's going to lead us in another mindfulness exercise.
Another mindfulness exercise that the poetry group did was the sensory awareness exercise of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our senses enable us to be grounded in the present moment. I invite you to engage in this exercise, to be here in this moment together. Look around. Go ahead, look around. Be aware of 5 things that you see. Listen now. Listen for 4 things that you hear. pay attention to 3 things that you touch. Recognize 2 things that you can smell. What is the one taste in your mouth or on your lips? Through our senses, we have arrived together at this moment.
I'm going to read Longing by Julia Staub. Consider the blackpoll warbler. She tips the scales at 1 ounce before migration, taking off from the seacoast to our east, flying higher and higher, ascending 2 or 3 miles during her 80 hours of flight until she lands in Tobago, north of Venezuela, 3 days older and weighing half as much. She flies over open ocean almost the whole way. She's not so different from us. The arc of our lives is a mystery too. We do not understand, we cannot see what guides us on our way, that longing that pulls us toward light. Not knowing, we fly onward, hearing the dull roar of the waves below. Consider the blackpoll warbler. She tips the scales at 1 ounce before she migrates, taking off from the seacoast to our east, flying higher and higher, ascending 2 or 3 miles during her 80 hours of flight until she lands in Tobago, north of Venezuela, 3 days older and weighing half as much. She flies over open ocean almost the whole way. She's not so different from us. The arc of our lives is a mystery too. We do not understand, we cannot see what guides us on our way, that longing that pulls us toward light. Not knowing, we fly onward, hearing the dull roar of the waves below us. I chose this poem because it combines my fascination with migrating birds and the path of our lives. We also, not really knowing the destination, continue on our journey and search for truth in the arc of life.
Smart Cookie by Richard Schiffman, with an after something to Wallace Stevens, a fellow writer. The fortune that you seek is another cookie, was my fortune. So I'll be equally frank. The wisdom that you covet is in another poem. The life that you desire is in a different universe. The cookie you are craving is in another jar. The jar is buried somewhere in Tennessee. Don't even think of searching for it. If you found that jar, everything would go kerflooey for 1,000 miles around. It is the jar of your fate in an alternate reality. Don't even think of living that life. Don't even think of eating that cookie. Be a smart cookie. Eat what's on your plate, not in some jar in Tennessee. That's my wisdom for today, though I know it's not what you were looking for. Smart cookie. The fortune you seek is another cookie, was my fortune. So I'll be equally frank. The wisdom that you covet is another poem. The life that you desire is in a different universe. The cookie you are craving is in another jar. The jar is buried somewhere in Tennessee. Don't even think of searching for it. If you found that jar, everything would go kerflooey for 1,000 miles around. It is the jar of your fate in an alternate reality. Don't even think of living that life. Don't even think of eating that cookie. Be a smart cookie. Eat what's on your plate, not in some jar in Tennessee. That's my wisdom for today, though I know it's not what you were looking for. I chose this poem in part because it teases and it has a bit of snarkiness, and we all know how much I love that. Mindfulness does not have to be solemn. Sometimes it can be seeing the humor in the moment. The question I have for you is, what does it inspire in you? What sort of vision do you get when you hear this poem? I think the idea of wanting to know our future and relying on a fortune cookie to tell us is kind of, well, probably not the you way. So take with it as you wish. And please, we're going to sing hymn 109, Rise as You Are Able.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe out peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love.
This week we will be sharing our offering plate with the Black Church Coalition. The Black Church Coalition aligns with our UU values by bringing together community, by bringing together congregations, and by bringing together neighborhoods to raise our voices and create change. That change includes reducing gun violence, protection for our immigrant neighbors, and housing for all. To contribute, you can gift cash or a check into the collection plate, or if you're online, simply go to allsoulsindy.org, where you will see a link that says Give to All Souls here on the left side of your screen. It's beneath the description for today's service. And if you're paying online or using a check, please indicate if your gift is a pledge payment or if it is for Share the Plate. Thank you for your generosity in supporting the mission of All Souls. And thank you for your continued love for one another and for this world. The morning offering may now be given, and it will be gratefully received.
Our closing poem is No More Same Old Silly Songs by Neil Carpathios. When the radio in my car broke, I started to notice the trees. I began to stop exaggerating the color of the leaves, how their reds and oranges need no wordy embellishment. I started to open my window and smell the wet pavement after a morning rain. Crows on the phone line, their blackness and stubborn dignity. I even noticed my hands gripping the wheel, the small, dark hairs, the skin, the knuckles, and the perfect blue veins. When the radio in my car broke, I started to notice the trees. I began to stop exaggerating the colors of the leaves, how their reds and oranges need no wordy embellishment. I started to open my window and smell the wet pavement after the morning rain. Crows on the phone line, their blackness and stubborn dignity. I even noticed my hands gripping the wheel, the small, dark hairs, the skin, the knuckles, and the perfect blue veins. We invite you to turn off the radio on your way home today and be present in the moment. Thank you.